the back of the net. Plays it square here for Tom to hit. And what a strike! He doesn't score easy goals, Michael Tom. He only scores absolute stunners. Hodge in the wall, it's Dorigo, has it! Oh my word, what a goal that was!
A good ball, nice ball to Gray, and a goal, a glorious goal, a superbly executed goal!
Good evening, thank you for joining us here on Matchday Live, where Leeds United head to Hillsborough to face a Sheffield Wednesday side who found some form. Joining us for this one, we have our in-house pundit. You basically are, you live in,
might as well sleep here now.
Michael Bridges, and delighted to say that we both got the great memo.
We got the memo. I've had a bit of stick for this, the cardigan, the granddad jumper. I don't care. You what do you mean?
I'm joking, you rock it, Bridgie, you rock it.
Thank you.
Look, another big game today. I know we seem to say it every single time we're here, but with 10 games to go, is this a must-win, Bridgie?
A win would be tremendous, especially against Sheffield Wednesday, knowing what we have got to do. But I think it's a must-not-lose game. They've been in some really rich vein of form. They've had a good output with the new manager of recent times, and I think we've got to go there with a positive attitude of the form that we have been in. They should be well worried about us, and I think it's a must not lose tonight. So 3 points is going to be a massive bonus, no doubt.
With this being a kick-off on a Friday night, Bridgie, if the result goes our way, how much pressure, if any, can it put on the other teams around us at the top? Yeah,
it's huge. You get the opportunity to set the gauntlet and say, look, come and chase us. We've done it many times this season. We've had a lot of Friday night games and it's gone our way. We've performed, we've produced, and I think it's been an out. It does, it makes for a good weekend. How many times have we left here going, oh yeah, we can relax over the weekend, watch the results come in. And you know, Leicester have slipped up. They were a long way clear at the top. The team that are hanging around that I wish would go away is Ipswich.
Yeah,
they've been relentless this season. Yeah, so it makes for a hell of a season, and that's why, you know, tonight we must go there with the right attitude and come away with the points.
Look, I know that when Sheffield Wednesday were here at Elland Road earlier this season, you were deeply unimpressed with them, weren't you, in their performance? But you know, they've been, like I mentioned in the intro, they've been on a good run of form. They've won their last 4. They've won 5 out of the last 6. Yeah. So are you expecting a different kind of game from them this season?
Yeah, completely. I was quite damning on their performance here when we played them earlier on in the season. I didn't see anything from them, and it turned out to be that way because the manager didn't last that long. However, Danny Roller's coming, 32-year-old young man. He's got an unbelievable wealth of experience with the people that he's worked under. Hassan Hüttl at Southampton, he was in the RB Leipzig set up where he was analysis, and not only that, Hansi Flick are buying. So he's got great pedigree behind him, but the way they want to play and press. Took him a while to get them going, but what he has done recently, he's given them a chance of survival this season. So it's going to be a completely different team, this Sheffield Wednesday team, to what we saw here at Elland Road.
Do you think that the way they're going to play tonight could potentially play into our hands, Bridgie?
Yes, and I mean that in the best possible way, because the teams that they're not going to defend numbers like they've done in the past. What they do, they've got a good setup now with a back 3 with wing backs, so they can get themselves defensively, but they like to bomb the full backs forward. The 2 midfielders can go and join in. They've got a front 3, so the press, their intensity levels against Sheffield Wednesday have gone from here to here under the new manager. He's got them working really hard to press, close down in the transition moments are very good. When we've played teams like that, Leicester, Ipswich, we've had results because there's a lot more space when we go the other way and attack. I don't like playing against teams that make a back five, a midfield 4 and 1,
Defensive.
and defensively get everybody behind the ball, because if you don't score early against teams like that and become very frustrating in one dimension. We had it against Stoke recently. It was struggle. We got the goal. So I think the new manager, Danny Roll, has got them playing very well in an expansive way. But I think quietly Daniel Farke will be very happy because he knows that we have probably got more ammunition and more threats against teams like that.
Well, with that in mind, how do you think he'll have prepared for this game with such a tight turnaround after Stoke?
Yeah, short turnaround. Getting to this point in the season, Emma, you don't tend to find that it's going to be so much emphasis on, you know, pressing, high intensity training sessions, condition as we call it. It's all about the rest recovery and how you get the game play from the opposition of what we're going to do. So they might do walk through shadows of play. It'll all be low intensity, but we make sure that everybody is involved, the squad, because we're going to need numbers. So there's been 3 more changes tonight. We've gone back to the team against Huddersfield that we had. There was 3 changes against Stoke, especially in the full-back positions. So I think that Daniel Farke would have just been sitting the lads, analysis sessions, walk through play, no intensity, and getting them prepared, because he would have shown them the new Sheffield Wednesday team as opposed to the highlights from the game when we played them here.
Absolutely. Just on that team news there, Bridgie, like you say, Firpo comes in for Sam Byram, Archie's in for Connor Roberts, and Willie Nonto comes in for Dan James. So basically exactly what you said, reverts back to that team that faced Huddersfield. It's just a rest and rotation job really, isn't it?
It certainly is, and that's, I think, the full-back positions where we see that. I feel for Connor Roberts, but I felt for Archie Gray last time. But you rely on both of them. So Archie Gray's back in. We know how reliable he is. He's a fantastic player. I still like him in that midfield. I think he's more dimensional, but he's in the right back position. Connor Roberts will come on, be an impact player. 2 assists, a goal. We saw him perform. Firpo, what Daniel Farke relies on is the wing, our full-backs getting high. So there's a lot of up and down, so you need to change them. Dan James again, an attacking player, comes out. Willie Nonto comes in. And Chris Somerville, my favourite player. Last few matches he's been very isolated because teams are working him out to say we're going to go and double up on him.
They're targeting
and target him. So what it does, it's given an advantage to other players in the team to step up in other areas of the field, because when you're losing it on one side of the field, people that are having the joy now is down that opposite side with Connor Roberts, with Archie Gray, Dan James and Willie Nonto. So they've worked one thing out, they haven't worked the other out.
Yes, there's more parcel even there.
Yes, correct.
Sheffield Wednesday as well, they've made a good number of changes. What do you think the thinking is behind that, Bridgie? I
Sheffield Wednesday, I was reading a few of their fans' forums and having a chat just to say why has it happened, and what they're saying is the intensity levels under Danny Roll, the new manager, they've had the results, but they've just started to be a bit lacklustre towards the end of the last game, looking a bit fatigued because their training regime has gone from here to here, a new level. So I think they're just trying to do what we are doing, a quick turnaround, change numbers, and I think once again that'll be advantageous to us, because the team that won last week, obviously it's been completely chopped and changed. So there's more changes for them than there is ours.
We certainly hope it's advantageous to us. Right, let's head over to Hillsborough for the first time this evening then, and catch up with our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo.
It's a cold night here at Hillsborough. We've made the journey down the M1 for this Yorkshire derby, and another big game ahead for Leeds United against another side struggling down the wrong end of the table, but their recent form tells you maybe a bit of a different story. Team news first. 3 changes for Leeds. Talk us through them, Tony.
The 3 that came in are gone straight back out again. So back in come Nonto, back in comes Archie Gray, and who else comes in as well?
Junior Firpo.
Him as well. That's it. I know I forgot one. I think it's because clearly before that they were playing extremely well. They're winning games, and the schedule has been difficult. So physically, 1 or 2 are clearly feeling it. If you look at the performance as well recently, we haven't really been absolutely firing to the full 90 minutes. We look a little leggy, so this one's a huge game, really important, and those 3 come straight back in.
Sheffield Wednesday, as we've already mentioned, are in really good form going into this. They've won 4 on the spin before this game. They're going to be tough tonight, aren't they?
They really are, because let's be honest, early on in the season I'm thinking they're dead and buried. They're going straight down. But they've had a revival, they're doing fantastic. You're right, won 5 the last 6 as well. They're confident, they can see safety. It's getting closer and closer. This is a huge game for them. They'll come here, will come here knowing it's a difficult game. They're at home, they're thinking, we can turn them over.
Yeah, they didn't win their first game this season in the league until October and yet they're in the pack down the bottom there at the moment, and there's a clutch of teams on the same points.
And you talk about momentum, and you know we talk about the teams at the top, but also at the bottom. And if you can get that momentum going, you can win football matches. The 3 points soon add up, and from what was a lost cause, you know they're right in the thick of things. So it's really tight in the middle and the bottom, and it's really tight at the top as well. But for us, you know, we have to win. We have to find some energy from somewhere. We have 9 days rest after this, but we've had a really tough schedule. But everything's got to be put on the line tonight.
Everything's going to be put on the line indeed. Do you know what? I always feel a bit of a pang of guilt whenever we see Bryn and Tony and it's freezing and they've got their hats on and we're in the
They need a woolly jumper like this.
Yeah, lend it to him next time, Bridgie. Let's just talk about that Stoke game, shall we? Because we had yourself and Bex in the studio, and our conclusion was, look, it wasn't the prettiest of wins, but it was a win. Yeah. And we have seen this season that we just find ways to grind those wins out any which way.
I think that's what's been the most impressive thing. When it's got ugly, we've found a way to win ugly, and there's nothing wrong with that. So first half performance against Stoke was marvellous. I think we should have been three or four up. However, we weren't. The goalkeeper made lots of saves, but I think what was so impressive was the chances we created that first half, as we're seeing, and it was relentless. But we just didn't get the goals. We finally got one, and that was the one that was decisive. But second half, you go from one end of the field in the first half to where we're creating so many chances and we're not taking them, to the second half. Fair play to Stoke, they came out with a completely different game plan and had a right good go, and we found a way to defend that, and thankfully Meslier was the man of the match. He made numerous saves. Whether he want to make that many saves, I don't know, but
it's
he did.
Unlikely, I think.
He would rather his back four and everybody dealt with. But it was a way to get the result done, and I think there was two pleasing things, that another clean sheet, and the fact that we managed to hang on for that 1-0 win. I love Daniel Farke's interview after the game, mind. He just said, because they had a huge chance in like the 97th minute or something, when they should have scored, Stoke. Meslier made a save, and Daniel Farke said, you know, I don't need that kind of heart attack scenario.
Yeah, he did.
So the Meslier saves we're going to see second half. All the action was at the other end of the field. You saw Leeds attacks going there at one end of the field, and then second half it was almost like they flipped it around, and that was the only end of the field you could attack. But we found a way, and we were very resilient. Yeah,
it wasn't an easy watch for us here in the studio, so I dread to think how difficult that was for Daniel Farke. But also, actually, just on this, we could see that Joseph Chance, who is another player that's actually, you know, recently, after that game against Chelsea, he's been so impressive.
Me and Bex looked at each other when he came on. We both said at the same time, I really like this lad.
Yeah.
Joseph, he got the 2 goals against Chelsea to settle the nerves, and then the game the other night when he came on, he had a very, very good opportunity where, for me as a striker, he did everything well. He upset the centre half to win the ball from a mistake. He took the goalkeeper on, and he got his shot on target, and it was just some last ditch defending that for them that got the moment through. So yeah, very good player.
We can see a few last bits of ditch defending here from Illan Meslier as well, but let's just talk about the fact that was another clean sheet, Bridgie. That's 16, that's the most in the league. How do you think we've managed that?
It's the most in the league. I mean, if you think, I was looking at the stats, Ethan Ampadu going back the centre half role to play alongside Joe Rodon, they are the top centre half pairing in the division for conceding shots against, goals against, clean sheets. The partnership that they've had has been the best in the division, so that is incredible. Not only that, the 2 players in front of them, Kamara and Gruev, best ball possession and, you know, getting it and keeping it for the team there, and we've got 2 players in the top 4 of that.
Wow.
And that's not even taking into consideration Archie Grayton coming there and played against Chelsea and had one of the best, got the man of the match award. So I call it, as Daniel Farke would say, your 2 defensive midfielders and your 2 centre halves. You call it the square, the block square. The understanding between them 4 of when to go and attack or when to defend, who's got to go out and make challenges to fill in for each other. They've been absolutely magnificent, and that is why we have been so organised. And not only that, we've got a fantastic goalkeeper, Meslier, who's made so many good saves this season.
Just very quickly, Bridgie, because I want to get the thoughts of Daniel Farke shortly, but just on that, it's deeply impressive when you think about how quickly that relationship was forged.
Yeah, and it came because Ampadu was playing so well in that midfield, whether he was playing alongside Archie Gray or Kamara, and then we've changed that completely. Archie's gone to right back, Ampadu's had to go to centre half. It could have completely disrupted everything, but then we find that Gruev, who's gotten more games under his belt, the running distances that he is covering, the performances, his passing ability is just absolutely incredible. So they've built a relationship with Kamara. Now, for a manager, to be able to do a jigsaw where you put it together and then you realise you've got to change a few places and you find another piece that'll slot in the same place that you take out.
It's a dream.
It is a dream.
It's an absolute dream.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that tonight's game is better for his heart. Let's get the thoughts of the boss, Daniel Farker, shall we?
No, Danny is more or less also, I think, in his first steps as a head coach, as a manager, and he's doing really well at Sheffield. So they have a major boost in results, especially right now with, I think, 4 wins on the spin, 5 wins in the last 6 games. So pretty impressive what they have done and how many points they have collected. I think it's important when you're on the first steps in your manager career that you have people to listen to and to speak about. Once you work several years on this level, obviously you still have some colleagues with them. You speak about football or about different things, but it's not like you have a mentor anymore, or there's an idol or whatever. It's more like when you're a bit younger. But obviously it's always good to speak also with some colleagues and with some experts. It's always good, and you always have to open in order to develop. Remember that also with Hansi Flick, we had a good exchange when he was in charge for the German national team, and I had several players for me of him also in Gladbach. We spoke also on a regular basis. It's always good to be connected with some experts and some persons with real knowledge, and I think it's important for Danny also in his youth and his first steps to listen to experienced coaches. So it's definitely a good choice if you do this. Yes, 2 sides who are in really good form, obviously on different positions in the table. But you have to say, if you're capable to win 4 in the row and more or less 5 in the last 6, then you are in a really good form. I think due to their slow start into the league, obviously they are still in the position where they have to fight and to struggle against relegation. But yes, if you judge them just by form, they are one of the most informed teams at the moment, and we are respectful. But we also know that we are also in a brilliant shape. Last 11 games, at least 11 games in this year, 10 wins, 1 draw. So I don't see one reason why we should travel in fear. We know the pitch is not that great, and it will be also an opponent who will play pretty physical and pretty aggressive, especially in their home games. This is what they're doing, and we are respectful, but we won't travel in fear. And for that, we're looking forward to have the next game. Not just the physical load, but especially the mental load, because a game is always different in comparison to training. You can have more or less the same load when you just have 1 game per week by training really hard, and normally we do this, but the mental load and the mental pressure is always something really special, especially for our young players, because there are so many expectations. The whole football world, or at least our country, watches the games. We are more or less always live on telly. Many pundits speak about each and every player, rate each and every player. The families, the agents are watching and following the game. So it's always lots of pressure, especially for the young lads. And this is what we have to take in account. And we have to make sure that we create an environment where it's just about football, where it's just about the contents, and give them also some backing, also some trust, also honest values, honest ratings and judgment. This is quite important. I think also the bit break after this game on Friday will be already beneficial, but then especially the next international break will be quite important for the players with so much load, and we also need to allow them to clear their head a bit, especially in the first week. Sadly, that's not possible for all of my players, because they have also some important games coming up, sometimes even against each other. So especially for the players who are there on international duty, is the load is incredible at the moment. But yeah, what should we do? So we have to adapt to it. We can't influence the schedule anymore. And we have to find some good solutions that also here at Thorpe Arch during the week, that we reduce.
Before we dig into what Daniel Farker was saying there, Bridgie, just a nod to him, because he's been awarded the Championship Manager of the Month award for the 3rd time this season. Yeah. No mean feat, that, is it?
No, not at all. But when you think what's happened in January, February, since the turn of the year, the results, 31 points from a possible 33.
Incredible.
He deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. And what I love about him, he acknowledges the fact that he is the manager of this football club. But Daniel Farke, that award is not just for Daniel Farke. That is for everybody involved in the staff behind this football club that work with that man to get the message across to the players, and then the players have got to go and execute the game plan. So he's a selfless manager, and that's why I absolutely love him.
He is. He's deeply humble, and he was talking about being wary of Sheffield Wednesday there.
Yeah.
Do you think he's right to be wary of them?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about before, they have a very young manager, Danny Roll, 32 years of age, and he'd be worried about the manager. You've got to show respect because of the results that they have got. We said, Emma, you said 5 wins in the last 6 matches. Absolutely incredible. Sheffield Wednesday were getting relegated. He has come and given them a new lease of life, but it's taken a while for his game plan to get across to the players. But what they've done, they've picked it up in the last few matches, and they've done it against teams all in and around the bottom half of their relegation battle. Their one loss was against Leicester, 2-0 defeat, top of the table. So he's going to be wary. He's got to be that. He's got to give them the respect and Danny Roll, but he's going into this game full of confidence because they'll be thinking, "Oh, here we go. This is going to be a tough outing."
How crucial is Daniel Farke going to be in terms of managing these next 10 games, do you think?
He's vital, and the reason he's vital, he's been in this situation before. I can't stress enough how tough the Championship is. Well, I think what the players love, as I do as a fan now, is the fact that I see a guy that is so relaxed. He doesn't seem flustered. He knows what it takes. He's been there and done it before. That calmness and understanding will reflect on the players. They're not looking at managers. I've played under managers in the past that have lost their way on their style. They haven't believed in it because we've lost a few games. You kind of start worrying. You see it, you smell it, you breathe it, and then you start to lose doubt in them. I've never seen that happen with this guy, whether it's been the style of play, whether we've had results that haven't gone our way. And even since we've been in this great run of form, he's not getting carried away. He's so calm, he knows what it's going to take. And that's why I think everybody at this football club is just going, we've got something special here. Let's just get in the bandwagon and enjoy it.
Yes. Well, we've got the international break coming up, Bridgie. I know you're not always a fan of these because it can almost, you feel like it can halt momentum a little. But in terms of fatigue and ensuring that, they're not too tired, how important is that going to be?
I think the international break has done us well this season. I don't like them, but I don't like them because there's no football to watch for Leeds United. I enjoy watching the Championship. I think what the players have done though, when they came back from international break last time, we went on a run of 3 games back to back, and it was against all the odds because they came in a short period of time as well since we returned. So it hasn't done any damage to derail our season this far, and I think some of the players enjoy going away to get a little bit of a breather, to come back and then get ready to go again. So I don't think it'll be an impact, Emma. And after this game tonight, we've had a short Tuesday night, Friday night game. Yeah. After this game, we're not playing until the following Sunday. So there's a lot of work that can be done in that time frame. Plus there's a lot of rest periods for the lads to get more analysis off Daniel and his team. Absolutely.
Well, earlier this week, Sam Byram caught up with LUTV to talk all about confidence within the squad and just how important that win was against Stoke.
Sam, it's always good to see you, especially here up at Far Parch, and less than 24 hours after the 1-0 win against Stoke. And do you feel, reflecting on it, good to get back to winning ways? And how did you see the game going last night?
Yeah, I think after you've had a draw or a loss, it's always important to return to winning and getting the 3 points. It's been a very short turnaround from the last game, and yeah, I think the win was the most important thing. It wasn't the nicest of games to watch, I'd say. It was a bit scrappy towards the end. Thought we started really well, and in the first half we had quite a few chances that we could have gone maybe 1 or 2-0 up. But yeah, to finish the game with the clean sheet and the 3 points was the main aim, and I'm glad we did that. How's your role been over the course of the season? Because you're one of the most experienced players now. You're making me feel old here, Vaz. But has that been a big part of your role since coming back here? Yeah, do you know, it was funny, we was playing an away game a couple of weeks back, and I actually looked around and I think I am one of there's me, Pat, and I can't remember who else, but thinking, I'm now one of the oldest players, and everyone says it flies by, and it definitely does. But yeah, I think I try and interact with everyone. It's a great group. We all have a good laugh together, and yeah, I suppose just trying to give my experience where it's needed, and just come in with a positive mentality, and hopefully that reflects on everyone.
What's the mood, what's the feel like in the changing room with that fight for the top 2 positions? Because us as fans, it's fascinating to see.
Yeah.
Is it a game at a time? Is it that simple? How much is everyone enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to look at the table, obviously, when you get down to the last sort of 10, 11 games. But we know how important it is to keep sort of looking one game at a time and looking at the next one. I think we're all loving the fact that we're unbeaten and we're on a really good sort of amount of games where we've won in a row. So we want to, after the most recent draw, we want to build on that again and try and put another run together. So yeah, I'd say everyone's confident and looking forward to the next challenge.
And we're still looking forward to the next game, and it's another Yorkshire derby. We know from experience only less than a week ago how difficult them games can be. Are you expecting something similar, especially with Sheffield Wednesday coming into some form as well?
Definitely, yeah. Like you say, I think the Yorkshire clubs, when they see Leeds come in, especially aware that they're fired up, I'm sure that the stadium will be, I don't know if it's a sellout, but I know they'll be coming and wanting a fight on the hands, and it's what we need to expect. We need to focus on ourselves and do what we can do best, but yeah, not go there under the illusion it's going to be easy, because it definitely won't be.
It definitely won't be, but it will be a good game. And on that note, Michael Bridges, score prediction, please. Your favourite moment of the evening.
The bit I don't like. The score prediction is we are sitting in 3rd at this moment in time, behind Ipswich, 2 points. We will be ahead of them by 1 point at the end of this game. There's my prediction. We're going to win. But
Can you be a bit more specific, please?
I don't like doing it, Emma. You know
Come on.
3-1 win.
3-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, 1-3 win to Leeds away.
I like it. Okay, Michael Bridges is going for a 3-1 win. It is a huge game over at Hillsborough as Leeds United face Sheffield Wednesday. Before we head over there and join our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo, let's get the thoughts of Patrick Bamford.
Pat, another Yorkshire derby for you this evening against a side down the bottom of the table, but I think this could be a tough one, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean the last one was a tough one as well, and they always are regardless of where you are in the table, but both teams on good form, and I think their last 5 games doesn't really replicate where they are in the table at the minute.
Yeah, they come in off a really good winning run, so they'll be really buoyed by all of that. They'll feel they've got momentum, but you must feel the same still.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've felt it for I guess a large part of the season where we've been on runs, and obviously this recent run we've been on has been brilliant, and it makes the confidence sky high, but in a derby you never know, so you've just got to make sure that you give everything out there and then come back in with hopefully what you want and what you deserve.
The two teams have emerged from down below. The noise levels are high here. The PA is pumping out the pre-match music, and the Leeds United fans in good voice away to our left-hand side. Sheffield Wednesday fans